We have been getting a lot of Ant-Man 3 news in the past couple weeks. First of all, there's the fact that the movie's already in pre-production, and they're apparently going to start filming the movie sometime early 2021. So we'll have to wait and see on more of that. But probably the big news on this movie in the past couple weeks is, of course, the casting of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror in the film. And of course, this is huge news because Kang the Conqueror is coming to the MCU. But I saw that a lot of people, like when this announcement was made, a lot of people assumed that he was going to be the main villain because, oh, well, if Kang the Conqueror is going to be in Ant-Man 3, with Kang being such a big villain like he is, he's got to be the main villain. But I don't think so, because before this, we were all going with the theory that MODOK was going to be the main villain, because we know that there were scripts out there with MODOK as the villain. But as soon as the Kang news came out, everybody was like, oh no, Kang's the main villain now. So, I don't think so, because Kang the Conqueror, he is a big villain, and he does deserve to be a main villain rather than just a side villain. But I've talked about this in my past couple of videos talking about Kang, that I think he's going to be a major player in the future of Phase 4 and Phase 5. And then he's going to be showing up in multiple projects. We know he's going to be showing up in the Loki Disney Plus series. He may even end up being the villain of the Avengers 5, or maybe even Young Avengers. So Kang is going to be playing a big role. So I don't see why they would make him the main villain of an Ant-Man movie, because first of all, he's not an Ant-Man villain, and second of all, why would you waste a big character like that and make him a main villain of an Ant-Man movie? Especially with this being the third and final movie of the Ant-Man trilogy, you gotta go out with it being a good Ant-Man movie rather than just shoving in Kang and all this other stuff and like overshadowing all the Ant-Man stuff just to make it a big, huge MCU movie. So I think they should stick with MODOK, and I think they will, because MODOK just fits so well with this franchise because, well, he's a giant floating head. Like, literally his whole body is his head, and he's got, like, tiny arms and dangly legs and stuff, and he flies around in a floating chair. And that's obviously a funny thing to go with, and that's one of the best things about the Ant-Man franchise, is that it's a very comedic franchise compared to, like, say, the Captain America franchise or Iron Man. Like, sure, there's comedy in those franchises, but not as much as Ant-Man. So that's one of the things I really love about this, and that's one thing that already matches MODOK to this franchise. But then also, MODOK is a very sciencey character. Obviously, he was created from science, and he's also the leader of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, which is basically this big group of scientists, evil scientists. And Ant-Man, the whole franchise, is also about science as well, you know, the science of shrinking and growing, and Hank Pym's Pym particles and all that stuff. So they just match so well together, and even though I would have loved to see MODOK as a villain in, like, an Iron Man movie, because I consider him more of an Iron Man villain. Iron Man's obviously dead now after Endgame, so that won't happen. But I see Ant-Man as the next best thing for MODOK, because I love this character, and I really want to see him in live action. And sure, we could see him on a Disney Plus show. Like, I think he would work pretty well with, like, She-Hulk. But I really want to see him done justice on the big screen in Ant-Man 3. So even though Kang the Conqueror will be in here, I feel like it will be just a setup more for the future rather than be the full-on main villain of the film, and that MODOK will be the actual villain of Ant-Man 3, and possibly even the benefactor that's been mentioned in Ant-Man and the Wasp, because we know Sonny Birch was trying to get the Pym Tech lab for his benefactor, so maybe MODOK is his benefactor. So really, we'll just have to wait and see on this, but I think it would make a lot more sense if MODOK was the main villain of Ant-Man 3. So let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below, guys. Do you want MODOK to be the main villain of Ant-Man 3, or would you prefer to have Kang be the big main villain of the film and face off against Ant-Man and the Wasp and possibly Stature? So thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.